Hey guys, in this episode we are going to be talking about Django migrations. So just a quick overview of what migrations are. Essentially, it is Django interacting with your database, telling your database what to do, such as creating new tables, dropping tables, new fields, altering fields, etc., etc. All that good database stuff that you don't have to worry about because Django Migrations does it for you. Um, However, there's a lot of magic happening behind the scenes. Sometimes you can get into problems, and as with most topics, having an understanding of how migrations actually works will get you a little bit of an advantage in being able to troubleshoot those things. So let's go ahead and take a look. In the last video, we made some models. We made a subreddit, a post, and a comment. So let's take a look, and then we migrated it, and I promised you guys that we would talk about it later, and I am fulfilling that promise. So when we did the make migrations command, what it did is it looks in the Django models um, files and it looks for changes, and then it does some processing and sees what needs to change in the database, right? So when we made this initial migration, it saw that we were creating three models: subreddit, post, and comment, and it is making these fields on those tables. And you can see all this stuff: primary key. It has a lot of just different properties that it is auto generating. Typically, you don't have to modify these files, especially once you kind of get the hang of it and you kind of know how to make migrations and are comfortable with it. You typically don't have to make changes here. What's it? Add field, add field. Okay, yeah. So these are creating the models here, and then it's adding the foreign keys because it needed to first create these tables before it could make foreign key relations. But as we know, all you normally have to worry about is just making these models, and then these migrations will be made for you. So let's go ahead and make a change. Let's make a kind of basic change that is pretty common actually. So post, let's say we made post, but then we want to have active posts and inactive posts because maybe someone wants to save a draft and they don't want to publish it yet, right? Actually, let's do published and models.boolean field, and we're going to default that to true or false. I will default it to true for now. Okay, and let's also say body. We made it a text field. Let's say we actually want to make it a char field. We want to limit the length to, let's say, 4,000. Let's say 6,000, right? And let's go ahead and modify this to, let's say 1,000 is too much. Let's go ahead and say like 800. Okay. Now we just made these changes, right? And as we know, we need to make migrations. So when you make changes to there and you want to make changes to the database, you have to do make migrations. If you just do make migrations, it will look in all of your apps for changes, or you can specifically just do it in one app. So we'll go ahead and just look in the posts app. So Django detected that we added a new field called publish to post, and it altered both of the body fields, right? So what it did is just created this file right here. And it did what we just did. It's adding a new field to publish, as called published, and this boolean default to true. It's altering this body field and turning it into a char field, max length 800, and same thing here, altering it, setting this to char field 6,000, right? So this is pretty cool because this is a layer on that can go to any database. So behind the scenes, this migrations.add field, right? Migrations.add field. Behind the scenes, that's going to generate the code to send to the database, whether it be SQLite, whether it be Postgres, whether it be MySQL, whatever your database backend is. This is going to translate your changes so that it can make the changes on the database. So let's look at what we have now. So I have these tables. I have these tables, and let's just look at one. Let's look at post.post, right? So right now we have ID, title, create date, body, author, subreddit, right? These are the fields that I had before on migrate. Now, when I run this migrate posts, when I run this migrate, this might update. I think I need to update. I've actually never used this before. I just downloaded it, but I need to update. I guess let's reopen it. Okay, and we will open up that post table again. And now you can see it has this published field on there, and it's also changed this body to a varchar 6000, right? So that's what's happening when we do migrations. It is modifying the database, and it does it in a way that you don't have to worry about which database backend you're using. Django takes care of all that for you. So that is how you do database migrations. Hopefully that made sense. Just one little thing I'd like to add, you might see a lot of references to a project called South, because before Django 1.7, this wasn't all built into Django, and you had to pretty much always install this external application called South, which handled migrations for you. In Django 1.7, they decided to bring it into Django. And I think it was a really good decision. Before, South was kind of annoying that you literally always had to install it. If you wanted a database, you had to have South pretty much. So yeah, that was a good move in Django 1.7 to bring it in. So yeah, just want to let you guys know, if you're reading about South, that's what it was. That's a little bit of the history. So yeah, hopefully that makes some sense. If you have any questions, feel free to comment in the comments. And until next time, happy Djangoing.